All right, hello everyone, and welcome to week 4. You've made it halfway through the course, another 4 weeks to go. We are at a big week here for us. We do have our midterm exam and some postings due this week. So a relatively light week as far as assignments goes. Of course, your big assignment or task for this week is that midterm. Which I think you'll find that it's pretty reasonable. I did send out an email this morning letting you know that it is open. I believe I opened it up around 8 o'clock this morning, maybe a little after. It will remain open until Saturday the 22nd at 11:55. So you've got a little over 4 days to get that taken care of. Originally, if you looked at in coursework, you saw that it was going to only be open through Friday evening. Changed my mind on that. I'm not sure what your work schedules are like for this summer, so I wanted to give you at least one weekend day to get that taken care of if you're using your weekends to get a lot of this work done. So I can understand. I work through the summer as well, so I would appreciate a weekend to get something like that done. So needless to say, you have today through Saturday the 22nd, 11:55 p.m. To get that midterm taken care of. Just briefly on the midterm, it is 5 questions. They are practical application type questions, placing yourself as a principal or an educational leader, how you would implement, how you would strategize, and how you would work through specific scenarios. So answer those thoroughly. The midterm is meant to be worked on independently. However, you may use your texts. You may reference DataWise. Also, your leveraging leadership text, you may reference that and go in there for guidance. Also, any other resources available that you've used, the outline that's been posted, the discussion forums, if you want to go back in there and see what other people have written to help you conceptualize your answers, that's fine. Just ask that you do work independently. I know with my experience in education in the past that the type of exams where I'm able to draw from resources I've learned the most out of. So I want to give you that opportunity to do that. Another note that once you open the exam, you have 4 hours, so you can save it along the way. However, you cannot save and go back to it. You do have 4 hours from the time that you open it. So be sure to carve out your time wisely. Make sure that you have minimal distractions. Many of you have families and children, so I understand the complication there. I did my doctorate with 3 little ones in the house, or actually 2 little ones, and then having a third one. So I get the difficulty in carving out that time, but do your best in doing so because you do only have 4 hours. This should be enough time. If not, I'm sure you'll let me know. But I believe that 4 hours should be sufficient to do what you need to do and answer those questions thoroughly. So that is the midterm exam. And if you have any questions on that, they are 20 points each, so 100 points total, and I'm sure everybody will do a stellar job. Don't stress it. But if you have any questions on that, you can shoot me an email. I'm not sure that I'll get it. If you're in the middle of taking the course or the exam, may not be able to respond to you then, but if you have any questions after this video before you start the exam, just let me know. Okay? All right, so this week what we have to do, of course, is the midterm exam, and then you have DataWise Chapter 5 reading, and then the Leverage Leadership Chapter 2. Right? This week's discussion forum, what I'm having you do is to only summarize the key elements of the DataWise chapter, and then I have a kind of an essay response question for you with regard to the Leveraging Leadership chapter. I don't know about you, but I've enjoyed the Leveraging Leadership. This is the first time I've taught this class and read through this book with you guys, and I've really enjoyed especially this chapter. I thought had a lot of great content in it. I thought the videos were great. I think most of you or you all should have the video. I would encourage you to, as you're reading along, go in and watch those videos of how those principals handle those situations in those conferences. So with that, in your discussion form, again, it's just the summarizing the key elements of chapter 5 in your DataWise, and then I do have an application type question for you with regard to the leveraging leadership. Has to do with as an educational leader, kind of that rub between evaluating and coaching can get very sticky and can be very difficult, and creating that culture is paramount. So I think the question I pose to you is, as an educator, how do you cultivate that relationship, or how do you cultivate a culture, a school-wide culture that allows you to both evaluate and coach effectively? So it's a complicated question. I'm interested to see what you guys write. Feel free to put in your experiences that you've had with this particular issue. Every school is a little different. Every principal is a little different. Every assistant principal is different. So feel free to not only discuss what you would do, but many times we base that off of the experiences that we have. There are great examples of that we want to carry along with us, and many of us have experienced the non-examples. So feel free to discuss those things and then reply to each other appropriately. Okay. So that's it for week 4. All right. Like previous weeks, your initial post is due on Friday evening. We ask that you do that a little early, and then of course by Monday evening your response posts are due. Okay. All right. On to week 5. The big project for that week is the John Hattie research paper. Many of you have been emailing that to me. Fortunately, I've been able to get those back pretty quickly. If you email it to me, especially this week, if you're able to, I know you've got a lot going on, but if you're able to get that to me this week, my turnaround has been pretty much a few hours. What I'm doing is I'm printing those out. I'm going through with the pen. Most of the errors that I've been seeing are technical errors with regards to APA and formatting. So be sure to watch those things. I really highly encourage you to get I believe the 7th edition is either out or coming out, but at least get the 6th edition of the APA publication manual. It will be valuable to you over the next year and a half as you go through your coursework. If not, there are resources online for that, but I do encourage the APA manual. I think it's like $15 on Amazon, so it's pretty reasonable. It's a great resource to have. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, a couple notes that I've seen, patterns maybe to look for with regard to your APA on that while we're talking about the John Hattie research paper. Let's see, 1-inch margins is one of those issues that I've seen. APA requires a minimum of a 1-inch margin all the way around. Your cover page, some of the things I've seen with cover page, you should have a running head in your upper left-hand corner. It actually should say on that cover page running head, and then your title after that. Numbered in the top right-hand corner, beginning with your cover page, and those continue through your reference page. Those are the primary things that I've seen on the cover page. As far as the body, be sure to cite your sources that you're using. If you're using especially more than one source, be sure to cite that in the body of your text, and that's where your APA manual will come in valuable. I'm sure there's some online resources where you can go for free to see how you do that appropriately as well. So be sure to pay particular attention to citations within a text, particularly if you're quoting a part of the text, including the page number where that quote comes from. That's the big part in the body that I've seen with APA. The reference page, everybody's done a pretty good job with that. Again, that gets pretty technical, so reference your APA manual with regards to your references. Those need to be double spaced. Also, the reference should be centered and 12-point font as well. It doesn't need to be italics when you title the reference page itself. Again, it's just a 12-point font. It's not bold, it's not italicized, but it is centered on that page. And it is numbered as well. I think something else that I've seen, again, this is just with formatting, everything is double spaced, even in the body of your paper. I've noticed, and this is just the formatting issue that's you just need to check on your computer, not space and a half, not 2.5 space between paragraphs, but only double space between paragraphs. So that was another issue that just came to me that I remember seeing a lot of. Other than that, the content that I've been seeing in the papers that I've reviewed has been great. Everybody's been hitting on the content, and then of course part of the rubric is applying it as a principal. How will this affect your decision making? Okay, so that was a little impromptu. Didn't plan on giving you that information, but I figured maybe we can cut that off at the pass. So again, the formatting issues have been the big issue. The content's been great that I've seen, and very little suggestions there. Just follow the rubric and you should be fine with that. Okay, again, if you want me to review it, I'll be happy to do that. The cutoff date for that, it's going to have to be this weekend. I can't remember what I said originally, but given that I'm going to have the midterm exams to grade as well, I would think, Sunday, probably Sunday is going to be my cutoff for being able to review your papers and getting them back to you in a timely manner, because I also want to be able to get to your midterms back to you in a timely manner. So please have, if for anybody that wants me to review their paper, more than happy to, please have it to me by this Sunday evening, and I will do my best to get it back to you within a 24-hour turnaround so that you can make the appropriate corrections, okay? All right, I believe that's all I needed to review for now. If you have any questions after this video, as always, shoot me an email, text, or give me a call. And good luck to you on the midterm exam, and I will follow up with any updates as needed. Have a great week.